Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque on Thursday denies President Rodrigo Duterte's bid to withdraw the Philippines from the International Criminal Court is a sign of cowardice. He says that as an ICC-accredited lawyer, he will suggest to Duterte that the president face any charges the ICC may make in relation to the complaint on his war on drugs. Roque is one of those who lobbied for the Philippines to join the ICC by ratifying the Rome Statute, the treaty that created the court. He also says there's no need for the president to consult with the Senate. Duterte earlier said his decision to withdraw is effective immediately, despite the provision in the treaty that states withdrawal takes effect only 1 year after notice is given to the United Nations Secretary-General. Malacanang based its assertion on the non-publication of the treaty on the official gazette, the government's official journal, or any newspaper of general circulation. The Center for International Law, or Center Law, a law firm co-founded by Roque, disputes this. Center Law says such publication is not a requirement. It adds Republic Act 9851 or International Humanitarian Law Act allows our courts to try cases cognizable by the ICC under the principle of complementarity. Roque also says the ICC should have dismissed the complaint against Duterte outright to prove the court isn't politicized. He claims ICC Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda knows local courts are working. Asked what groups could have influenced the ICC on deciding on the complaint against Duterte, Roque names Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International. Roque says, quote, international lobby groups always ally themselves with the opposition. There are the human rights groups. Roque adds he is saddened by Duterte's decision but agrees with it because the ICC cannot just put aside the issue of sovereignty. The Pasay City Prosecutor's Office files inciting to sedition charges against Senator Antonio Trillanes. At the same time, it dismisses the charge of proposing to commit coup d'etat. The charges stem from the complaint filed in November 2017 by lawyer Manny Luna and Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption lawyer Jing Paras. Paras is now Labor Undersecretary. The two lawyers' complaints stem from Trillanes' privileged speech last October, accusing Duterte of having 2 billion pesos worth of transactions in his bank account that were not reflected in his statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth. Duterte earlier challenged anybody to shoot or overthrow him if they could find more than 40 million pesos in his bank. Using Duterte's rhetoric, Trillanes said in his speech that soldiers could now use M60 machine guns on the president because the amount of alleged undeclared wealth exceeded 40 million pesos. In the complaint, Luna and Paras said the remark violated Article 142 of the Revised Penal Code for inciting to sedition, particularly the third definition of sedition under the law, to inflict any act of hate or revenge upon the person or property of any public officer or employee. But Trillanes says the charges are a form of harassment. He also says the root cause of the complaint, a privileged speech in Senate, makes him immune from suit. Former state prosecutor, now Judge Aristotle Reyes on Thursday, says he is saddened he is being probed over his dismissal of the drug trade and conspiracy charges against alleged drug lords Peter Lim and Kerwin Espinosa. Reyes is one half of the panel that dismissed the charges against Lim and Espinosa. Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre on Wednesday ordered the National Bureau of Investigation to conduct a case build-up against Reyes and fellow prosecutor Michael John Humarang, as well as approving prosecutors Rosendel Rex Gingoyon and acting prosecutor General George Catalan. Reyes insists his panel arrived at the recommendation based on evidence. He also says the testimony of the Philippine National Police's lone witness, Marcelo Adorco, was not sufficient to charge Lim and Espinosa, especially given the many inconsistencies in the statements. Reyes says it's outside the mandate of a prosecutor to hunt for evidence. He says, quote, what CIDG presented to us was so weak, they had only one witness. They could have had another corroborative witness, but they didn't present it. There's another witness who testified in court, but he recanted. Apart from the Lim Espinosa case, Reyes' panel also handled the case on the 6.4 billion pesos worth of shabu smuggled into the country. Reyes' panel charged the fixer and the middleman, but cleared former Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faeldon and other customs officials. In September 2017, a month after the probe into Lim and Espinosa began, President Rodrigo Duterte signed Reyes' appointment papers and promoted him Regional Trial Court Judge of Lucena City in Quezon. That appointment was not publicized by Malacanang until January 2018. Reyes took his oath in February. Reyes cleared Faeldon in November 2017 and again in January 2018. The dismissal of charges against Lim and Espinosa was signed in December 2017, but only revealed to media by sources on Monday. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque and Senator Grace Poe clash on the issue of fake news Thursday. Roque, who said he attended the hearing in his personal capacity, insists Poe's proposed law, which penalizes government officials for spreading fake news and misinformation, is unconstitutional. He says, quote, "To begin with, there should be no law abridging freedom of expression. Any law which will criminalize fake news will obviously be a violation because it is a law that will abridge freedom of expression." But Poe says government officials must be held to a higher standard. Unlike an ordinary citizen, she says government employees are required to submit statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth, among others. Poe says, quote, "There are certain things we are liable for. We need to present SAL-N while an ordinary citizen does not. We can be charged graft with plunder. They cannot unless they connive with us. There are certain things expected of us because we have waived that certain right because we are serving the people." She adds, quote, "We're here to defend the truth, and our positions are not for life." Roque earlier said he will resign if Poe's bill becomes law. Students walk out of United States classrooms Wednesday in the largest grassroots protest against gun violence seen in years. The students demand action on gun control 1 month after a deadly shooting rampage at a Florida high school. Hundreds of teenagers from Washington area schools gather outside the White House, holding up signs reading "Books, not bullets," and "Protect people, not guns," before marching to the U.S. Capitol. Several hours after the protests broke up, the U.S. House of Representatives voted 407 to 10 to fund violence prevention measures at schools, including boosting security, mental health screening, and creating anonymous reporting systems so students can report threats. But Congress has yet to tackle the more controversial aspects of gun control demanded in the wake of the Parkland shooting. These include expanded background checks for gun sales, abandoned assault weapons, and raising the minimum age for some firearms purchases. U.S. President Donald Trump momentarily signaled support for curbing access to guns, notably by raising the age for purchases from 18 to 21, but has backtracked on that position under pressure from powerful pro-gun lobby.